Alrighty, welcome back to another video, everyone. I'm sorry it's been a little bit since I've uploaded. I've got a couple excuses, but really only one of them's good. So first of all, I've been super addicted to PokeMMO lately. I don't know if any of you have played that or if any of you are Pokemon fans, but it's pretty much like a game that a third party made, where it combines all the Pokemon games into one massive online multiplayer. And it's so addicting. I've been playing with my friends, and really I just need to figure out how to record my gameplay so I can just upload that shit, but it's been taking up a lot of my time lately. And also, the Modern Warfare 2 beta was just out, and I was playing the shit out of that. I really like that game. I think I'm definitely going to get it when it launches. I think it launches like October 28th or something, but I just got to figure out how to get my my screen recording all set up by then, so hopefully I can record some gameplay from that game. But the big reason as of recently, because I was, even after all that, I was still playing, like I had some videos I had planned on recording, and then I got COVID, which really fucking sucks. I don't know if any of you have had it before, but my symptoms, at least, was just like an extreme headache. I had really bad muscle soreness and like weakness, like just a crazy amount of fatigue. I had a lot of like problem with temperature regulation. Like I couldn't get out of my bed, or I'd start like shaking so bad that I would like fall over. And I've had a sore throat, but I'm feeling a lot better today. I'm probably gonna go into work tomorrow, as long as I'm continuing to feel better throughout the rest of the day. But I figured I gotta put something on here. And as I was just taking my dog for a walk, I rolled up this super tiny joint, like a 0.75, because it's all my throat could handle, but it's got me feeling nice. And while I was on a walk with him, I was thinking about this thing that happened to me a while back that would make a pretty good story. So without further ado, I'm just gonna get right into that. I'm not gonna waste any of your time. This story is gonna be about pretty much my first and only bad trip. And just to quantify what I mean by bad trip, because some people have different meanings. To me, there's three different kinds of trips. There's good trips, there's hard trips, and there's bad trips. Good trips are the ones where it just feels amazing. It's like all euphoria. You get some insight out of it. Like it's just all good. Like it's all pleasant feelings, and that's really it. A hard trip is where it may not be something that you actually want to go through. Maybe you see like some really scary stuff from your past, or there's this really frightening thing you have to go on, or you feel a lot of stress. But as long as you get something out of it, and at the end of the trip you feel like it was worth it, I'd still say that's a good trip. It's just a hard trip. A bad trip is where it is just all bad, unenjoyable, and you get nothing out of it. And that is what I'm going to be talking about right here. And it is, like I said, the only time it's happened to me. And you'll kind of, as I explain the story, you'll see pretty clearly why it went this way. Sorry about that. I was just checking to make sure I'm still recording. But anyways, I'm going to get right into it. So I'm going to give you the setting and the people I was with. So this was a lake house trip during the summer. I've got this lake house that my grandpa owns that we go to every single summer. And as of recently, my mom started letting me bring friends with me. Now I'm moved out, and I don't even know if I'm gonna be going this year, but this is when I was still with my mom, and she would let me bring some friends up to go to the lake house. And this was probably maybe 3 years ago. No, I think it was 2 years ago. And so we were at the lake house. It was me, my friend Asa, this dude I don't hang with anymore, and my friend Tucker was there, but he actually went home for like the day that this happened and then came back the next day. So he missed out on all this action. But anyways, so it was me, Asa, and then that other guy there. And we decided, we were like, dude, we're on vacation. We got like this beautiful view. We're like, there's such good vibes. We're having a campfire tonight. We're like, we should get some shrooms. And I think I suggested it. I'm pretty sure I suggested it just because I was like, dude, this would be such a good spot to do shrooms. And we were just like, how are we going to get shrooms out? It's like an hour out from where I'm normally located at. And all my dealers are local to where I was before. So I was like, I mean, we're going to have to get somebody to drive an hour out up here. So we had to make it worth it for him. So we hit up this one guy, and we only wanted like 3 grams of shrooms, which is like $35 or something. And this guy wasn't going to drive all the way out there for $35. So we also ended up getting like 2 grams of live resin and the shrooms. So he decided that was cool, and he drove. I think we had to give him a little bit for gas money too. But he drove up, and he came up with these penis envy shrooms. And I, at the time, knew nothing. I really was an idiot at this point. This was before, I don't know, if you've watched my last shroom trip, you'd know that I like to do it like for personal growth and development. This was before that. This was totally recreational. We were just trying to have a good time. And I didn't really know anything about them at all, other than that they got you high. So he told me they were penis envies, didn't know what that meant. And if you do know what that means, that's part of the reason this went so bad. Anyways, he was telling me about what they are. And he's like, just so you know, penis envies aren't like normal shrooms. He's like, these are like twice as strong. And to me, every dealer is just saying whatever they're going to say to try to upsell their product and like make it sound crazy. But hindsight, like I should have realized since I already was paying for them that he probably wasn't just talking them up. But at the time I was being an idiot and I just figured he was just talking these up. Like everybody's going to say their shit's the craziest and it's going to get you the highest and it's the strongest. So I was like, yeah, whatever, bro. You know, they're shrooms. Thanks. I got them from him. And so, yeah, I didn't know that that's true. That penis envies are actually a significantly stronger strain than any other mushrooms, pretty much. If you're in the mushroom community, you know, a lot of people will say a cube is a cube unless it's a penis envy, which means just like a standard cubensis, which is I think the genus or the species across the board, because they all are the same, but the penis envies are just way stronger. Anyway, so I didn't know that. And the last trip I had done, I had taken like 2.8 or something, and it was just slightly too strong for me. So I thought, okay, I'll take like 2 grams. I was like, I'm just gonna have a chill time, no problem. And obviously if you're doing the math, 2 grams of penis envy is like equivalent to like 1/8 to 4 grams of some normal shrooms, which is more than I've ever done before. Also consider the fact that my mom was like this. We were not at this lake house by ourselves. Like I said, this is when I was still living with my mom. So my mom was upstairs sleeping. So were my sisters, who both didn't know about this going on. And my girlfriend was coming to visit the next day, who we had just started dating, and she did not know I was doing this. So the setting was just not good. There was too many variables up to play that could stress me out, that it just already was not a good setup from the beginning. But, I mean, I figured I'm not going to be tripping much, so it's not really going to matter. We're just going to have a good time, go in the room, laugh, play some games, go to bed. So anyways, we decided to do it in... now I've been using lemon teching, which is a whole different method I've explained in my last video. But this time we decided to put it in like this used to be my go-to strat, would be to take a piece of bread, put Nutella or peanut butter on it, grind up the shrooms, sprinkle it in the bread, just fold it in half and eat it. So that's what we did. Asa only took like a 0.2. He took like nothing. But me and that other guy that were there both took 2 grams in this piece of bread. And so I remember I took it, and I was there for like 40 minutes, and I already started to feel something. Normally when you don't lemon tech, it takes like an hour and a half before they kick in. But I remember I had the acoustic guitar in my hand, and I was sitting by the fire. I just started to strum the guitar, and I could just feel the vibrations like pulsating throughout my entire body. It felt really nice. And I was just sitting there like strumming, and all of a sudden I completely lost my ability to play. Like the songs that I had been playing all night, gone. I couldn't play them at all. It was just like, I felt like I was just, the sounds didn't make any sense. It was like, just like confusing. It was starting to get frustrating. And I just like kind of like sat there and just leaned against the guitar and just kept strumming one note, feeling the vibration go through me. And then I was looking at the fire, and the fire started to look really scary, and the vibrations from the guitar started to feel a little scary. And I was like, okay, I'm going to put this down. I was like, let's go inside. So we walked into the dining room. And in the dining room, they have like these little sticky notes. And I like to draw when I'm tripping, but I normally don't like to do a big piece. I just like to do like a little sticky note and then on to the next thing, because my train of thought isn't there. So I would just take these little sticky notes and I was just drawing. And as I was drawing, it was like the lines were appearing before I was drawing them, and I was just filling them in. It was such a weird sensation, and I was starting to feel higher and higher sitting at this dining room table. Like I said, meanwhile, my mom's upstairs sleeping. So I'm sitting at this dining room table, and Ace is sitting across from me. The other kid's doing, I don't even fucking know what he was doing. But I was sitting there, and I was looking at Asa, and I was like, dude, I think I took too much. And he was like, damn, really, bro? And I was like, yeah, like, I just really don't feel good. And I, like, leaned back in my chair, and I just kind of sat there like this, and I woke up on the floor. I completely passed out. My friend said I had a little like mini seizure. And I woke up. I was tripping balls, hardest I've ever tripped in my life, like to the point where shapes were unrecognizable, couldn't tell where I was, what I was, because I had passed out. I'd completely forgotten I had taken shrooms. And I was sitting there, hands planted on the ground, just like kind of like in a push-up position, just throwing up violently on the floor. And like obviously like my head hitting the ground made a loud sound, like me vomiting that was super loud. So it took like 30 seconds for me to realize what was going on. But once I realized, all I could think was pure terror that my mom was going to find out. I just like, I couldn't walk. I was tripping so hard that like my body wasn't even there. Visuals weren't there. I could like kind of, as the waves would come and go, I would kind of be able to like get like a little sense of what was going on. I felt Asa at one point grab me and drag me into the TV room, which is where we were sleeping. And he just threw me in there. He cleaned up all the throw up. He like put everything back in place. Fucking savior, this guy. If he wasn't there, I don't know what we would have done. And thank God he took a really small dose, so he was fine. And he really saved the day. But I was just sitting there in that bed, which it was like a fold-out couch bed, and I was just sitting there wrapped up in a blanket. And if you don't know, if shrooms come in waves, they like hit really hard and then they soften a bit, and they hit really hard and they soften a bit, and the waves will get stronger and stronger and then weaker and weaker until you're done tripping. And so it was just like the strongest waves that didn't feel like they were ever getting weaker over and over again. And every single time they would hit, my entire world would just collapse in on itself. But not like I was talking about in the other trip where like the world would be sectioned off and it would collapse in slowly and spiral on itself. But like in that, I could still tell it was the room, if that makes sense. And this, it was literally just like spirals of like shapes and colors and like a kaleidoscope. Like I couldn't see anything other than just nonsense. Like I couldn't tell you a lamp was a lamp, or the TV was a TV, or the room was a room. Like it was like just kaleidoscope vision. I couldn't fucking tell what was going on. And it was just this feeling of stress and terror that I had never felt before in my life. Like just horrible. It was just so horrible. And I could just remember the whole time I was just so worried. I was just stressing. I was like, what if my mom finds out? Like she's gonna try to send me to the hospital or something, and like my friends are never gonna be able to come to the lake house again. And then what if I'm still tripping tomorrow when Grace gets here, and then like she finds out and then she breaks? I was just freaking out. Like my brain was going through all these thought spirals, and I was just sitting there shaking the whole night, just for what felt like an eternity. But eventually, after like 6 hours of hard tripping, by the time it was like 2 a.m., I finally started to settle down. I felt like I was okay again, and I fell asleep. And the next morning, I woke up. I felt a little weird, but for the most part, okay. I remember I went and took a shower, and while I was showering, I got like these little flares of my vision, and I was like, no way, I'm still tripping. Like, I was like, I'm fucked. I was like, I'm fucked. When Grace gets, she's going to be here in hours, and I'm going to be, like, I was freaking out. But then, luckily, that was the last of what happened. Grace came over. We had an amazing day. It went perfectly. She had no clue. I ended up telling her about this whole event a couple months later, and she was just shocked. She was like, I had no idea. But it was just a crazy, crazy trip. I'm glad Tucker wasn't there, that he had left the day before, because he would not have known what to do. Super thankful Asa was there. He really saved the day. And overall, I mean, it just really taught me about dosage. Ever since then, what I started to do was I buy an ounce of shrooms. Instead of a small amount, I buy an ounce of the same batch. I take a small amount so I know how strong they are, and I work my way up. That way, I'm never going to get myself into one of these fucked situations again. I'm also never going to do it when, like, there's any chance I can get caught. Like, now I have my own apartment. I can do it in my room, you know, totally fine, not a problem. And I feel safe, and I don't feel like there's going to be something that happens if anyone finds out. So just keep those things in mind. Try to stay safe, everyone, if you're going to, not that I'm recommending it, and obviously this story might even scare you away, but if you're going to try it, just consider, I've had amazing trips since then. It's really just because of this setting, and dosage. Those were just like the things that I just did not, like I said, this was when I didn't know anything about them, and I was just trying to have a good time with my friends. But I hope you guys enjoyed this story. I hope it taught you something or entertained you, and thank you for watching. Peace out.